Welcome to the Realm. I'm Scott Schemmel from Sports Realm, here with my co-hosts Max DeCoux and Severin Mull. And today we have another podcast discussing COVID around the sports world. Specifically, we'll go into a lot of NFL discussions, and let's just get it started, Severin.
Yeah, I was COVID numbers are spiking across the country right now, and we have sports just trying to go on, and it's a great thing, an escape for people and something to really look at. But it's causing all sorts of issues for a lot of teams. There's so many logistic issues. Honestly, applaud for all the planners for what they have to deal with, trying to deal with all this and make sure that people are safe. College football, college basketball, there's all sorts of stuff going on. But NFL seems to be the number one headlines right now, as we've seen with the Denver Broncos, a game tomorrow. It's just you kind of have these dream scenarios where you have to have all the quarterbacks get hurt. And then you all of a sudden have a receiver playing quarterback.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be able to see that tomorrow with the Broncos, because
and you had that one emergency quarterback.
Yeah,
always.
It's exciting to see, but it's sad for the Broncos and all this stuff with COVID. But so we had the Denver Broncos. All four of their quarterbacks are ineligible to play tomorrow, and that's a big deal because with contact tracing and all that, just none of them are able to play.
And the biggest
so now
part
we're
is
with two options.
Yeah, the biggest part that hurts them is that it happened today.
I know they
had no time to prepare. Had Jerry Jeudy tweeting out, guess I'll just be Lamar Jackson.
So last minute COVID list for their third string. So now it's on to either Royce Freeman, who's a running back. He looks not promising, because you can't say that for the situation at all. But he played at Oregon running back, and he's their backup running back right now. So he could do it, and they would talk about him being under center, which is easier for him. Severin, what do you think about that choice?
Yeah, with Royce Freeman, it seems like the most recent throwing experience he has at quarterbacking is, throwing a trick play to Marcus Mariota a few years back when he was in college. I mean, to me, it seems like receiver always makes more sense, because as running back, I mean, it might be better for running the ball, running a wildcat, but receiver, it seems like you have so much more side-to-side room to work with in a wildcat. Because you're faster, you're not big, so it's kind of easy to have fluid motions and stuff, like pitching and stuff. So I like to see a receiver under center as well, because just of all the stuff they can do, and they can do more things and move side to side than just the running back. So I don't know if Westman will play, but we'll have to see. I think either option is not ideal, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
So no the second option, you're not gonna get a guy that's had a lot of experience under center.
So the second option is the one I would take, which is Kendall Hinton, and he was a 3-year starter at Wake Forest, and he played some QB during those 3 years. So he's a good option. He's a college QB, and that takes a level of success to get there.
He wasn't a fantastic college quarterback. That's why he was a receiver in the NFL. But he does have a lot more recent experience than Royce Freeman. So I like to see it. And they're going up against the Saints, which is a team that's trending right now. Even though they have Taysom Hill and not Drew Brees playing, I'm sure Broncos would love to have Jameis Winston on their squad. But it'll be a tough matchup for them to deal with, because the Saints are really high right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a game that's lacking quarterbacks all around. Yeah. So let's talk about college football. Let's talk about just in general how that's being affected. The college football playoff and all that. It's a lot to deal with right now, and it's going to be very different this year.
Yeah, we're seeing it. Conference championships are up for debate. So with all this stuff going around, it's possible for both Notre Dame and Clemson to make the championship, which is because of all the COVID and stuff. It's just very difficult to predict and stuff. Clemson, they were going to play last Saturday. They get there, and then all of a sudden they're told, no, we're not going to play. So they had all their plans. They were there in Florida, and then they were told to go back, and they weren't able to play. So it's keeping coaches, players on their toes. We see Nick Saban test positive for COVID. It just brings so much uncertainty, and it's a wild time to live in for sports.
It is. Max, you were going to say something earlier about your college?
Oh, yeah. My school, Rice University, we've had our second game of the season canceled due to the other team having positive tests. So it's nice at all levels of the college football spectrum right now. COVID is – no one's safe. No one's safe.
Yes. And it's
we're going to have to look at a bubble when it comes to the college football playoff and figure out how they're going to keep – there's so many players on a team, it's going to be hard to figure out how to filter out all those positive tests, and just hope that they're able to keep their players healthy until they have the playoff.
Yeah,
we see a lot of bowl games get canceled too.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to follow into the. Look a lot into the NFL and see how that's going with them. Because it's been pretty successful based on what they've had, like the situation. So college basketball is kind of the same. They're starting up as of late. It's just starting up, so they're gonna have to watch that out and try to take part after
and
the
that's
NBA.
scary because there's a 64-team tournament at the end of the year, and that's probably not going to be viable. I mean, the option I could think of is there's 4 different bubble cities, one for each region, and they create a new bubble for the Final Four. But yeah, it's just making everything a lot harder. They're going to have to bubble, as we've seen in the NBA. The NBA did so well with COVID, with the bubble. That's a proven model. It's just really hard to enact in college because there's so many teams across the country.
Yeah, and it was hard for the NBA. They did not have 64 teams. They had like 14, 16,
like 22 come.
Yeah, something
22.
like that. So it's like 22 is the highest point. So it's like that's not 22. That's a lot. I mean, 64 is a lot compared to 22. So and NBA's revenue, they had to set that all up. I don't know. It's just gonna be hard for them. So let's talk about back to the NFL. Let's talk about the 49ers and their situation. They were told recently that they might not be able to practice and they cannot play in their home county.
Yeah, Santa Clara County, they told basically the Niners, they're probably aware that California is looking to, keep COVID under control. But yeah, they said contact sports can't really hold games or practices for the next 3 weeks. And the Niners, they're scrambling because like with the Raptors, I'm talking about the NBA, they have to find a new spot. They're going to end up playing in Tampa Bay. But the Niners, they have to act now because there's like no turnaround time. They have to start practicing with their team. So they're frantically trying to figure out the NFL, where can we go? Where's another option that we'd be okay with so they can still, because they want to still be able to play games throughout the season. They don't want to just call a forfeit because they're not allowed to play in their own county.
Yeah, and it's not easy because like I've seen the process for away games for NFL teams, and they ship out equipment and stuff like weeks to months ahead of the game. So them having to move everything now and pack all of it and move it, that's not easy. That's talking about truckloads and days. And then that's after you know where to go, and they don't know where to go yet. So that's just going to be a hard process for them. But yeah, speaking about the Toronto Raptors, that's some big news of late too. They're going to be
Tampa Bay Raptors.
Yes, the Tampa Bay Raptors. I mean, it's a good opportunity for me if to get some.
Yeah, he's out in Tampa.
I'm not there, but all right. Thank you guys for watching and listening. This is another episode of the Sports Run Podcast. You can listen anywhere you get your podcast and subscribe on YouTube, like and comment. Thank you guys for listening.
Sports From out.